So, imagine your digital life is this massive medieval fortress. You've got the thick stone walls, maybe a heavy wooden door, but if a computer network is a fortress, how many open windows did you actually leave open today? Did you reuse a password? Maybe you clicked "Remind me later" on a software update, or connected to that unsecured public Wi-Fi at the coffee shop. The truth is, every single day we're exposing ourselves to invisible threats without even realizing it.
Welcome to This Explainer. I am totally thrilled you're joining us, because today we're going to decode the invisible digital battlefield that you and I navigate every single time we pick up our phones or open our laptops. We're going to explore the heavy-duty tools that keep our digital fortresses secure, look at how breaches actually happen, and uncover how digital detectives clean up the mess afterward.
Here is our quick roadmap for today. First, internet vulnerabilities. Second, security measures. Third, securing transactions. Fourth, controlling access. And finally, cyber forensics. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Internet vulnerabilities and cyber threats. The cracks in the digital fortress. Okay, let's start by defining what actually leaves our systems exposed. The textbook definition of a computer vulnerability is simply a deficiency. It's a weakness in a system, a procedure, or the actual computer itself that leaves it open to a threat. But what's absolutely crucial to understand here is that the moment you connect to the internet, your vulnerability just skyrockets. Systems that are permanently linked to the internet, especially those with fixed IP addresses, are incredibly vulnerable to outside penetration. Why is that? Well, because a fixed IP address acts like a permanent flashing neon sign. It never changes location, so bad actors can quickly, easily, and continuously map exactly where you are, quietly probing your digital walls for any of those deficiencies until they find a way in. And looking at the sheer scale of the problem, it's just staggering. We're navigating a landscape absolutely packed with breaches, theft, spyware, and phishing. Because the internet is so massive and completely interconnected, when abuses happen, the ripple effects are incredibly widespread. We're not just talking about a single home computer getting a nasty virus anymore. We are talking about highly coordinated operations penetrating the entire information network of global enterprises, literally siphoning off gigabytes of sensitive data in a fraction of a second. A perfect and scary example of this is identity theft. As we do more of our living and working online, thieves use the internet to reach right through the digital ether to snatch false credentials. They engage in the unauthorized acquisition of your most private financial information, and then they use it to steal money straight from your bank account, or buy merchandise using credit cards opened in your name. It's a completely faceless crime, which makes it incredibly difficult to trace.
Moving on to Section 2, Security Measures, Essential and Enterprise Defenses.
Look, we're not defenseless here. We don't just have to sit around waiting to get hacked. For everyday users and small businesses, survival requires a strict baseline of essential measures. We're talking about the basics, using truly strong passwords, actively controlling who has access to your machine, putting up a firewall, and running robust security software. And, critically, maintaining regular updates and intrusion monitoring. I know those software updates can be annoying, but they fundamentally alter your code to patch known holes that hackers are actively trying to squeeze through right now. Skipping an update is literally leaving a window wide open.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. There's a massive leap between how you or I protect ourselves versus a large enterprise. A basic antivirus program is great for a personal laptop. It detects and removes known viruses and malware. But large enterprises, they can't rely on that. They use what's called a Unified Threat Management System, or UTM. This isn't just one piece of software. It's an intricate, heavy-duty combination of physical and digital security appliances stacked at the very gateway of their network. It actively filters every single packet of data trying to get in or out, acting as a massive, unified shield rather than just a last-minute band-aid. These enterprises have to deploy an entire army of defenses. They secure the perimeter with robust spam filters to stop malicious emails dead in their tracks, and they rely on automated patch management systems to instantly close security holes across thousands of computers at the exact same time. They secure the actual users by mandating two-factor authentication to stop unauthorized sign-ins, and using device encryption so if a laptop gets stolen, it's completely useless to the criminals. And finally, they secure the worst-case scenarios with disaster recovery plans, dictating exactly how to keep the business running if a massive cyber attack actually breaks through. One of my absolute favorite tools at this enterprise level is Deep Packet Inspection, or DPI. Think of DPI as a lightning-fast, highly intelligent traffic cop for your network's data. It doesn't just look at the destination of a data file, it actually opens up the packet, examines the contents traveling through the network, identifies what they are, and sorts them in real time. It'll push low-priority stuff, like someone streaming a video, to the side to ensure business-critical files get through instantly. Or if it detects a signature that looks even slightly malicious, it completely blocks those suspicious packets from ever reaching their destination. It's proactive defense at the microsecond level.
Section 3. Securing online business transactions. Keeping the vault safe. So now that we've fortified the walls, how do we actually safely conduct business and move money around? When you send sensitive data online, how do you mathematically guarantee the website is who it claims to be? The answer is digital certificates. These are basically verified IDs for the internet. They rely on highly trusted third parties, called certificate authorities, companies you've probably heard of, like Symantec or GoDaddy. These authorities issue a highly encrypted certificate that proves the identity of the owner and contains a public key. It's the system that ensures you aren't accidentally handing your credit card over to some clever imposter running a spoofed website.
Let's see how this builds into actual data protection through encryption. When you send sensitive information, it starts out as plain text. The system then applies an encryption key, this incredibly complex secret mathematical code which scrambles that plain text into entirely unreadable ciphertext. The math involved here is so intense that even if a hacker intercepts the data on the network, it just looks like absolute gibberish to them. It would literally take a supercomputer millions of years to guess the pattern. Only the intended receiver who has the unique matching key can decrypt it back into plain text. It's a mathematically elegant solution for securing transactions over a highly vulnerable internet.
Section 4. Controlling access. Bridging physical and digital security.
Now here is a major reality check. The strongest encryption in the world simply does not matter if someone can just stroll into your server room and plug in a flash drive, right? Cybersecurity actively requires controlling who can physically access the machines. Access control is all about selective restriction. And what's really fascinating is how we're increasingly seeing the blend of physical presence with digital networks, like requiring a human biological marker, a biometric fingerprint, or a retinal scan to physically unlock a door that houses digital assets. The physical and digital worlds are completely intertwined now. Defending that physical space relies heavily on access hardware. That means utilizing actual human resources, like trained security guards on patrol. It means installing mechanical safeguards, robust gates, metal detectors, and retrofit door barriers that can instantly turn a standard room into a fortified barricade during an emergency. And to seamlessly connect the physical and the digital, we see the widespread use of entry cards. These smart ID cards have embedded chips that not only unlock authorized doors, but simultaneously track exactly where authorized individuals are moving within a secure campus. But it's not just the hardware anymore. Access software has become incredibly advanced. Specialized software at campus entry points can now instantly track visitor histories, actively cross-reference those names against sex offender databases, and even use object recognition to identify concealed weapons on camera. Many places now use central lockdown capabilities, where a single panic button or a digitally detected gunshot can automatically trigger a complete integrated facility lockdown. We're even seeing the introduction of facial recognition to screen unapproved visitors, though it's definitely worth noting as analytical observers that this specific tech raises some valid accuracy and privacy concerns that network administrators really have to weigh carefully.
Finally, Section 5. The Science of Cyber Forensics. Investigating the breach.
So, what happens when the absolute worst occurs and the fortress is actually breached? That's when cyber forensics comes into play. It is basically the digital equivalent of a high-stakes crime scene investigation. It's a specialized branch of digital science dedicated to examining digital storage media in a strictly forensically sound manner. The whole goal is to identify, preserve, recover, and present undeniable facts. When a company suffers from inventory fraud, targeted cybercrime, or the theft of their deepest business secrets, digital detectives deploy these exact techniques. They sift through deleted files, system logs, and network traffic to find the digital fingerprints left behind, gathering the hard, irrefutable evidence needed to take legal action.
So the big takeaway here is this: your digital footprint is constantly expanding. Every single day you connect, you leave a trace, and you open a potential window. Based on everything we've looked at today, from the massive scale of internet vulnerabilities to the sophisticated tools required to fight them, are your personal defenses actually evolving fast enough to protect you? Take a minute today to review your own digital fortress. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay safe out there and keep learning.